Welcome to Offensive, where we're all super overrated, just like the Broncos. Oops.
Oops.
Hey, I last episode I picked them to be the for sure team to make the Super Bowl, and then they go and get their butts whipped by the Jaguars. And on my drive here, because I was late to the recording studio, the Denver radio was basically saying all the Bronco fans are blaming the refs. Like, what are you talking about? You got your butts kicked, dude.
They got smoked. It wasn't even close. The Jags owned them that whole game, and they just scored when they got in the red zone, which the Packers did not do 2 weeks in a row. But let's actually look at some fun stats here. So 34-20. So Dave brought this up. So Dave, tell us how the Denver defense has been doing.
Everyone talks about their elite and everything else, but since week 11, they're 29th in defensive EPA. So they can get got real easy. They're missing a lot of tackles and whatnot. Meanwhile, during that time, the Jaguars rank first. So yeah, the Broncos are riding the 5-game streak with games below 3.0 defensive EPA. That's just hot garbage, really.
Hot garbage. And dude, the Jags, like in that game, the Jags made them miss so many tackles and broke away plays, and the Packers had a bunch of good plays against them. Again, the Broncos got the 2 interceptions they touched, the 2 chances they touched, so they made those plays. The Packers shot themselves in the foot in the end zone, but they moved the ball on them in the first half. Jordan Love set a personal best for most passing yards in a half against the Broncos defense, right? So if you're elite, that should not be happening. Packers shot themselves in the foot, but the Jaguars came in playing hot, and none of us were too sure how good they were. Now, me and Dave were both trying to pick them as our sleeper pick for the Super Bowl. We're like, yeah, the Jags look good. But, man, they went into Denver and just pummeled the crap out of them. It wasn't even close. So let's talk about these Jaguars. They got Duval. Their run game looks good. Etienne looks reborn in this offense. And, you know, before we started this channel, guys, we actually had another one where we were talking about teams in the offseason and like what the difference could be. And we all kind of thought that this offense that was brought over from Tampa Bay, everyone saw how good Bucky Irving did last year, right? We thought Etienne would have a better year, but he's having a fantastic year, like much better than even I expected. He looked really good yesterday. I mean, Denver's defense just got punked. They got absolutely slapped.
I think part of it is that they've played at the time the Packers were a hot team and now the Jaguars are a hot team. I think the Broncos defense is still very, very, very good. Right. They played but the Broncos are feeling themselves. They feel like they're a good team now, and they played 2 hot teams. They were able to take advantage of them a little bit.
Well, remember though, before they played Green Bay, you guys were saying, who have you guys really beat? You haven't had to beat.
Yeah, the Broncos have played one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. That's what makes this even worse, guys, is that they've played a bunch of bad teams mostly.
During this awful streak, the -3, that's against the Chiefs, the Commanders, and the Raiders.
Yikes! Oh my God, that's awful. That's awful. Now
I think they are getting out schemed. I think the Broncos defensive players are very good, but I think the offenses are out scheming the Broncos defense. I think is what's happening.
I think that's part of it, but I think if they can't get to the quarterback, there's holes in their defense. There's a lot of holes in their defense, especially the linebacker.
Well, you can run on them. If you're a good running team, you can run on them. That's the thing. It's like they're elite against the pass, but against the run, if you can block well, you can do all right.
But again, even in the pass last week, they just, even on short wide receiver screens over the middle plays, like they were just missing tackles.
They looked like they were confusing themselves on defense. They were like, who's supposed to cover the guy? I think it looked like a lot of mental errors and stuff.
That means the Jaguars fooled them then. Yeah, good for the Jags.
Because the Jags didn't do that good on the ground. They only averaged 3 yards per carry on 27 carries. They only had 81 yards.
Yeah, it's baffling to me how they were able to do that so well against the Broncos defense. It looks like they got out schemed, and just the defensive backfield and linebackers are just out of place every time.
Or maybe the Broncos defense is just mid and everybody can get to them. I mean, if they have a -3 EPA and they played the Raiders and the Commanders with Marcus Mariota, yikes, dude. Those are 2 of the worst offenses in the NFL, right? And you have a negative EPA, then Jordan Love sets a passing record against you, a personal record, mind you, right? And then the Jaguars just smoke you. I don't know, dude. I'm worried about this Denver defense.
Dude, when I was at the Bronco-Packer game, it wasn't like the Packers guys were wide open. Like the Packers were playing at a very elite level on offense. The Broncos defense still looked very good. I mean, remember when they got in the red zone, the Broncos defense gave up nothing. Like,
well,
down
neither did the Bears against us, and they're terrible. So, like,
right.
You know, I think the Packers got in their own way more than Denver stopped them, to be honest with you. And the Jaguars proved it. The Jaguars were 4 out of 5 in the red zone against them yesterday, and they were running almost the same plays. There was a play that they did a swing out to ETN, and ETN just freaking cooked the guy and got in. Like, the Packers have been doing the same plays, and they just didn't make that play. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know, dude. This Denver defense is worrying me. I got to say right now, I mean, I know it's fresh in our minds, but I would pick the Jags over the Broncos to make the Super Bowl right now. I would absolutely do it after that game. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I just running on smoke? Is it just one game, or do you think the Jags are actually good enough to beat them again if this happens?
Trevor Lawrence, when he was playing at Clemson, he played a downfield game. He wanted to grip it and rip it. And what he had with the, Urban Meyer flush that down the toilet. And then the coach after that, he was good, but he wouldn't really he wouldn't let Trevor rip it. He tried to do, ball control, game control and whatnot. Now Liam Cohen is finally letting him scheme everything up. So Parker Washington's getting some of those deep crossers and whatnot, which Brian Thomas, he was amazing last year in the second half of the season. And it wasn't with Trevor Lawrence, but it was because he's had the opportunity to run deep routes. He doesn't like to go over the middle. He doesn't like to get hit. He's got alligator arms, and it's in his head this season. But he's proven he's an elite talent. So what I think the coach has done is he did 10 targets to Parker Washington. Jacoby Myers got 8. Brenton Strange at tight end got 7. Brian Thomas only got 3. Thomas, he's still elite. He can still get, until they figure out how to utilize him, at least try to get Patrick Surtain on him a couple of times so Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers can go nuts.
Right.
Jacoby Myers, he is able to make all the catches. He's exactly where you want him to be. And remember, they have that shiny little rookie who's not even out there this season, to which Hype has said, Steve Smith has said his route running is terrible and whatnot, but he can be taught. It sounds like he's a really bright kid. He wants to learn how to be better. When you actually watch his hips, when he gets out of breaks and whatnot, and again, it's tough to talk about a guy who hasn't played for 6 weeks, but Travis Hunter, the way that he can move is a lot like Justin Jefferson. He's not Justin Jefferson, but when you watch his hips going in and out of the break, it's just fluid, and it's something that very, very few people can do. So if he can get coached up, there's a lot of weapons out there. And this is looking like Tampa Bay 2.0 for Liam Cohen.
And
coaching matters.
It does. And the Jaguars actually didn't have a great yards per play. The Broncos still got 5 sacks in that game, right? Yep. So the Broncos
also gained them by like 180 yards too.
But the difference was the Jags made the plays in the red zone, right? Yeah. And then the Broncos, obviously, Bo Nix decided he wasn't a god on earth and didn't make 19 perfect throws. He threw a bunch of terrible balls.
He went back to regular Bo Nix.
He went back to regular Bo Nix because he decided just to do that against the Packers. Thanks.
Yeah,
but seriously.
Thanks a lot.
Dude, yeah, seriously. But again, the Broncos defense is still good. You get 5 sacks in a game, and we all know the Jaguars offense isn't elite. They've been playing better, but the Jaguars still had better than 50% third down percentage, right? They had a bunch of big plays on them, and when they got in the red zone, they made the plays they needed to make. And the Broncos didn't. And that's really, in the NFL, that's what it comes down to. And the Packers have proved that the last couple of weeks. Like, if you scored more than half of your red zone possessions, you'll probably win. And if you don't, you'll probably lose. So it really just comes down to that. Now, I'm not saying the Broncos are like a fraud or anything after seeing what they did to Green Bay. And again, they weren't terrible in this game, but Bo Nix came right back down to earth, right? He, again, had a lot of yards, but a lot of it was, not necessarily beneficial to them winning the game, if that makes sense, right? They got down to the red zone, they didn't get in. He threw some picks.
Yeah. His analytics, like QBR and PFF ratings, are very bad.
Yeah, he was not great, even though he had a bunch of yards in that game. So
he had 350 yards passing.
Yeah, and again, the Jaguars defense has been good. Like, they've been good, so they did a good job making plays when they had to. So am I saying the Broncos don't have a chance to make the Super Bowl? No, but I think the Jags might have a better chance because, dude, when it comes playoff time, it's how you're playing now. It's not what it is on paper. It's not what you were projected at the beginning of the season. It's who's playing the best now. And if you have the number 1 defense in EPA right now, I will roll with that into the playoffs all day because defense wins championships. So I'm feeling the Jaguars right now a little bit, just a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, two weeks ago against Indy, who I still think is a pretty solid defense, Trevor Lawrence still had an 83 QBR, which is pretty damn good.
That's pretty good. No, the Colts defense has been pretty solid, dude. Pretty solid.
And then throw this out the window because last week they only played the Jets, but he had a 96 QBR. So he's been above 80 for the last 3 weeks. That shows that their offense is humming along. So
yeah, no, the Colts defense is not bad. I wouldn't say they're great, but they're not bad. No. And so, and plus it's a division foe. Like they know it, they've seen you a lot. They know what you're going to do. It's hard to play that well against them. So, yeah, man, go Jaguars.
A big part of it might be also that Bo Nix and Sean Payton were like looking at the Packers cornerbacks and they're like, hey, we can take deep shots if we got one-on-one versus them and we're going to be fine. Like we don't have to worry about it, So I think but Bo did execute like extremely well, in those situations. But other teams that have actually like good cornerbacks, like you might not be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, at some point, Sunshine is going to reach the mountain. I feel like he was the number one pick. He did it in college. Trevor Lawrence, right? Sunshine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you said it right. He's finally got a coach that's letting him play to his play style. That's letting him play the way he wants to play up to his potential. And it's been looking good. So yeah. Now New England beat the Ravens, but the Ravens kind of screwed themselves. Lamar got knocked out of the game with a back injury. So Broncos are still the 1 seed, even though they lost, right? But Patriots won, so they're neck and neck. So it could be either one of those teams. But they're the only 2 teams in the AFC that have actually clinched, believe it or not. And you know what's funny, Doug? Everyone in the NFC has clinched except for the 4 seed, which is going to be the Panthers or the Bucks, or the 7 seed, which is likely going to be the Packers. So check this out, Doug. If you didn't know this already, if the Packers win this week, they're in.
Right.
And they're pretty much guaranteed the 7th seed.
Yes, because as long
as the Bears win 1 game, right, they're guaranteed the 2 seed, which means 7 Green Bay goes to Chicago for the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I expected to happen.
It's meant to happen. And if the Pope
and not only that, like at the first game when we were there, when we all 3 went to the game, when we beat the Bears, I had a feeling in my head, we're going to play the Bears twice again. I just had that feeling.
You said it that day.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. You thought we'd have the home game, but still.
yeah. I mean, at the time, because we won the game, but with how well the Bears have been playing, I was like, we're gonna play again in the playoffs. It's just like, you just got that vibe.
It's definitely gonna happen. Packers, Jaguars, right? Let's see if it happens. No, probably not. Dude, all I know is like, don't take it out on the Packers because I'm not a Catholic. Okay, don't do it, Pope. Leave us alone. Leave us the hell alone, please.